Now, before you begin to abuse me, before you begin to see all manner of things you want to say, bro, before you begin to fight me, I need you to watch this video, listen carefully with an open mind to understand what I'm saying, to understand what I want to tell you now. Now, first of all, I want you to consider these people in the Bible. I want to consider them very well because I need you to judge for yourself. Now, we understand that Moses fought for the children of Israel to be released, to be freed. Now, Moses confronted Pharaoh to free the Israelites from slavery. This is from the book of Exodus 5:1 and Exodus 7:10 and also Exodus 14. Okay, and now we also see that in the book of Esther 4 verse 14 and in the book of Esther 7 verse 3, we understood that Esther risked her life to plead for her people against genocide. These are two persons that we have mentioned. Okay, now the third person I want to mention here is Nehemiah. Nehemiah fought against the oppression of the poor by wealthy Jews. Okay, now the fourth person I want to mention here is Nathan. Nathan confronted King David about his sin against Uriah and Bathsheba. Okay, now Elijah stood against King Ahab and Queen Jezebel's corruption. Okay, the next person here is Daniel. That's in the book of Daniel chapter 6 from verse 10. We understood that Daniel spoke truth and stood firm in Babylon. Okay, and we all know about the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, they all defied the king's order to worship an idol. Okay, now we know about the story of John the Baptist. John the Baptist publicly rebuked leaders for wrongdoing. He publicly rebuked leaders for wrongdoing. That's the key verse there is Matthew 14 verse 3 and Luke 3 verse 19. Okay, now what about Stephen? Stephen spoke truth to religious leaders despite knowing it will cost him his life. Stephen spoke truth to religious leaders despite knowing it will cost him his life. And that verse is Acts chapter 7 verse 51. The book of Acts chapter 7 verse 51. Okay, and now we know about the story of Paul the apostle defended the gospel and the rights of believers against authorities. Okay, that is Galatians 2 verse 11. Okay, now why did I have to mention all of these people from the Bible? Well, I understand that these are all leaders. They are all leaders per se. They are leaders in their own capacity. You understand? And they are all Christians. Okay, now I want you, after taking all these people into consideration, I want to mention one of these Dadgios. I want to mention one pastor, one prophet, one prophetess, one deacon, one deaconess, one elder that stood up to say to the government, no, what you're doing to Nigerians is bad. What you're doing to the citizens of this country is bad. What you're doing to the youth in this country is bad. How you're leading the country is bad. I want you to mention one. I want you to mention one pastor, one daddy Gio, one reverend, just one that has come out to say enough is enough. Stop treating the people bad. In all of the killings that has been going on in the north and also part of the south, southwest, southeast, I wanted to mention one pastor, one daddy Gio that has come out to say this thing is wrong. I wanted to call one. And at this point, I will boldly tell you, we don't have any genuine man of God We don't have any genuine man of God that will boldly stand and fight for the Christendom. None. So all of these ones that you're seeing, they're just political pastors, they're political preachers. They're all political pastors, political leaders, political daddy-geos. They're all pulpit criminals. They only preach about tithe and offerings. They don't preach about humanity. They don't preach about good governance. All they're focused about is how they can enrich themselves, how they can buy private jets, how they can build schools where their members can afford to attend, build schools where members who contributed, who helped in building the school, cannot afford to send their children to that school. And you're telling me that they are men of God, they are men of God, or they are doing the Lord's work. I have listed all, not just all, I've listed few of these persons in the Bible that really did the work of God, that really served humanity, that stood boldly to kings to say, no, enough is enough. Let my people go. Free these humans, free these people. Enough is enough. They've suffered enough. Free them. Start doing the right thing. These are people from the same Bible that you're reading, that you've been preaching, but yet you can't do these things. Yet you can't stand for your people. Yet you can't stand for the church, and you say you're daddy-geo. You watch your people suffer every day. Hunger everywhere. People buy everywhere. You're not bothered. You move around with private jets. You move around with full security. You move around with bulletproof cars. You move around in convoys. And then you sell holy water. You sell olive oil. You sell miracle handband. You sell stickers. You sell handkerchief to the members. They come to you for help, and you tell them to fast and pray. They come to you for help, and you tell them to turn to God. But when you need help, you call them for contribution, and you say you're a man of God. You say you're preaching Christ. You say you're doing the service of the Lord. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.